Hello, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me live. Appreciate you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you. I don't take that for granted. And I hope you're doing great. I hope you're blessed, and I hope that you are enjoying your life. Tonight, I have a another serious topic for you. Tonight, I'm calling this Why You're Not Being Chosen. This is something that I take very personal because this is a question that I asked myself for a long time. And so, for those of you that know me, I do a lot of journaling, meditating, and praying. And during the journaling, the meditating, and the praying, I come up with ideas. So, I want to talk to you about some of these ideas that I came up with today about why you may not be chosen. And I'm going to explain what that means in a second. But what I want to do right now, before I jump into this topic, is I want to invite you to two things. Number one, I want you to join my community on Facebook. It's called Your First Book Club. And it's for people who are thinking about writing a book. You've been told by somebody that you should write a book. You've been praying about it. It keeps popping up. You can't get it out of your mind. Join the Facebook community, Your First Book Club. And that's if you don't have a book yet, right? I have another Facebook group for people who already have a book, and it's called Your Next Book Club. And that's for people who want to learn how to relaunch the first one before they get started with the second one. So I'm all about books. I love books. I've been reading since I was 3, writing really well since I was 12. I was a history major. I've taught history and English. I've also taught psychology and financial literacy. Financial literacy was actually my favorite class to teach, and I taught that for about a year for high school seniors, so that was fun. What does that have to do with tonight? Tonight, we're going to be digging deep into this topic, and I love it because I'm 48, but for so many years, like middle school, high school, college, career, so I spent so much time wondering why I wasn't being chosen. Why didn't they pick me, right? And so I got a revelation today. I got some revelation knowledge today. And I want to share this with you because it's going to help somebody. It's absolutely going to help somebody. It's going to be a game changer for someone tonight. Because I don't just do information, I do transformation. So I'm going to share some stories with you. I'm going to talk to you about my life. I'm going to share some things that I've coached people through. And so there's going to be a lot of content here. There's going to be some good stuff for you. And before I jump all the way in, I want to just say hello. What's up, YouTube? I am live on my YouTube channel, which is Your First Book 101. I love you guys. Thank you. I'm also live on Twitter. What's up, Twitter folks? Hey, hey, say hello if you're watching me from Twitter. Also, LinkedIn. Where's my LinkedIn family? Welcome, welcome. And Facebook. My 2 groups are in the house. If you're in one of my Facebook groups, just say, "What's up? I'm in the house." And then my regular Facebook page, my personal page. What's up? Thank you for joining the conversation. This is going to be some good stuff tonight. There's going to be a lot of gems, a lot of nuggets, a lot of aha moments, a lot of things for you to think about And like I always say, put this in your pipe and smoke it. Let it get into your bones. I really want you to just absorb this information, just get it in. Because if you can get this information into your mind, body, and soul, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to really change your life and start making some different decisions. Okay. So, a little bit about me. I'm an author, teacher, book coach, book promoter, and motivational speaker. And I have been helping people write their memoir, since 2018. And I learned how to do the process because I wrote my own memoir in 2017. And so everything that I learned for myself, I put it into an online course. I created a workbook, which is the curriculum for the course. And now this is what I do. I teach people how to write and publish their book in 90 days or less with minimal stress. My focus is with women over 40 who are now ready to invest in themselves. That is my core audience. I can help anybody write a book about anything because I've done it so many times. I have 8 books on the market. 6 of them I produced myself. 2 of them I worked with other professional speakers and professional teachers. And actually, our books went #1 bestseller on Amazon in February and in March of 2021. So this is like the 3-year anniversary of me being a best-selling author on Amazon with 2 different books in 2 different categories. So that was pretty freaking phenomenal and amazing. And that happened, right? And so I want to share these words of wisdom with you because this is going to be, I really want you to learn, and I want you to apply, and I want you to change. This is what life is all about. I'm 48 years old and I've been through so many changes. And the majority of the changes have happened in the past 5 years, right? There's Rachel. Hey, Rachel, thank you so much. Thank you for the hearts. I love the love. I appreciate the love. Yeah, so the changes that I've been through in the past 5 years have been freaking phenomenal. And it's been a lot of interpersonal work that I've done for myself. A lot of interpersonal work, a lot of introspection, like introspective thinking, a lot of writing, journaling. I mean, the more you write, the more you journal, the more you learn about who you are as a human being. You start to unveil and unearth lots of different things when you start writing and journaling and really focusing and thinking, right? That's what it's about. Sitting quietly, focusing and thinking. That's what you want to do. That's the name of the game. Let's start to normalize sitting in silence. I'm actually turning my phone off. I'm turning my ringer off because I want to be present and I want to sit in a little bit of silence right now. All right, so all my noises are off. So I just want you to get in the habit, and I want you to normalize writing as a part of your daily practice, right? Normalize, what's this little thing? It's bugging me. Normalize sitting and focusing and just being. Like, let's not be human doings. Let's be human beings. Let's just be, right? Let's just be. I don't want anybody to be worried about anything, right? Stop worrying about everything. Life is too short. Let's breathe. Let's just breathe. Let's just be present. Let's be in the moment, because we get too caught up in what everybody else is thinking, right? And so I want to tell you how this topic relates to my life first. So I'm calling this Why You're Not Being Chosen. Before 5 years ago, okay, I'll just say this. 5 years ago, I used to think this all the time. I rarely ever think this anymore. But I want to share with you how I overcame this, because this was my thought every day. Why am I not being chosen? Why is somebody always more important than me, right? Why is somebody always being recognized, but not me, right? And this was because I used to be a huge people pleaser, overachiever, wanting validation. Pick me, pick me. Like at work, at home, within my family. It started with my parents. Um, I wasn't raised with a father. I was raised in a single parent home with my mom. So my mom was both parents for me. And she was busy, she was working. And so I wanted to be so perfect because I didn't want to add any stress to her life. I wanted things to be great, right? And things weren't great. Things were far from great. So whenever I was in her presence, I would try to be as perfect as I could so that she would have a reason to smile and be happy and say, great job, because I did everything that she told me to do. Cleaned the house, cooked. I was the oldest. I'm still the oldest of three. Everything had to be a certain way. And so I learned very early to jump through hoops and walk around on eggshells and make sure that everything was perfect because I didn't want to upset her. And then when I left home, I went to college and I did the same thing for my professors. I performed and I jumped up and down and I did everything that I needed to do to get recognized. And a lot of times I didn't because of the reasons. There's 3 reasons. I'm going to share these 3 reasons with you why you're not being chosen. I'm going to share these 3 things, and I want you to get this into your soul because this is something to really think about. This is thought-provoking. And so I left college, and then I immediately got into my marriage and started once again people-pleasing, overachieving, begging for validation. That's what I did the whole time. And then just started joining different programs and activities and going to church and doing the same thing over and over again, getting different jobs and within my career, and just really performing and begging for attention and overachieving and people pleasing and being the yes team player and doing all the things, crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, and doing everything that I thought they wanted to hear and see and know. And it was exhausting because during that time, basically my whole life, I was like, who am I? What do I want? What do I need? I had to stop focusing and being so outwardly focused. I had to start focusing on myself. And that was a hard thing to do because then I was taking my attention and my energy off other people, and that became a problem. right? That became a problem. So I think about this topic all the time, and I came up with 3 reasons why you may not be chosen, right? And this is something to think about, especially if you were on the football team, on the cheerleading team, on the basketball team, and you wanted to be a starter, right? You didn't just want to be a member of the team, right? Or you were in a club and you wanted to be an officer in the club. You didn't just want to be a member, right? But for some reason, you just didn't get chosen. This conversation is for you. If you have been in competitions like beauty pageants, right? And you were runner up or you got a award for just participating, but you didn't place, right? This conversation is for you. If you have ever felt like you wanted to date a certain person and it just never worked out, you never got the date, you never got the girlfriend, you never got the boyfriend, you never got the engagement ring, right? You just been wishing and wanting and hoping, and it just seems like it doesn't happen. Like, you ever wonder, like, why doesn't it ever happen for me? Why don't things ever work out for me? This was how I used to think every day. Every day. Every day. I would go to trainings when I was a teacher. We'd have to go to these professional development trainings, and I would sit through the trainings and do the activities, and then I would get the certificate at the end and put it in my binder and add it to all the other ones, and then put it on my resume. And then I would be thinking to myself, okay, now that was an interesting training, but I probably could have done better as the facilitator, right? I kept thinking I probably could have taught that better. I probably could have used a different strategy. And I would think to myself, why wasn't I the facilitator? Why didn't I get chosen to lead the discussion, right? This is what I would be thinking to myself. Or I would go to these conventions for teachers, and I would sit there and I'd listen to the keynote speaker, and I'd be like, damn, I could have done better than that. How come I'm not the keynote speaker? Right? That raise your hand if that thought has ever gone through your mind. Like, damn, I should have been the keynote speaker. I could have done better than that. I look better. I smell better. I sound better. I'm cuter. Like, I'm smarter. Like, these are the thoughts that used to run through my head every day. Every time I saw something, every time I saw someone get recognized or promoted or awarded, I would be so jealous. I'm just going to say it straight up. I would be so freaking jealous. Like, why? Like, don't they see me? Don't they see how great my work is? Like, I'm awesome. I'm freaking awesome. This is what I was thinking in my mind, but I wasn't really telling anyone else. I was just thinking these things. And so you might be out there right now saying, yeah, you know what? I was up for a promotion last year and they overlooked me for so-and-so. Or I was supposed to get a raise and they gave it to so-and-so. Or I was supposed to get that overtime shift and they didn't give it to me. They gave it to so-and-so. Why? Why are they giving it to so-and-so? They should be giving it to me, right? I think at one time in every human being's life, you've thought of these things. You've thought, like, you've wondered and probably agonized over this because this can be stressful and frustrating, and you can get depressed. You can get absolutely depressed. Trust me, I know. I deal with depression. Like, it used to be a huge problem. Now I understand what my triggers are and I understand how to manage my emotions. I'm much more emotionally intelligent than I was 5 years ago. I've learned a lot about myself. And so I want you to think about this. I want you to take some notes today. I'm going to give you three things, three reasons that might explain why you're not being chosen. Because I had to confront myself and be honest with myself and take responsibility for not being chosen. Because I thought I should have been chosen a long time ago. I thought I was so freaking awesome. I just thought I was so freaking awesome. And like, people owed me something. I almost had like this entitlement disease going on for a second, you know? And so I really had to pray about this. And God has been working on me. And God has been helping me work on me. Because it's really, you got to work on you so you can come to a resolution and find out how you can turn it around. And so I'm going to give you some advice on how you can look at the situation differently and have a different experience, right? Because nobody wants to experience being overlooked over and over and over again. That doesn't feel good. Nobody wants to experience being ignored, overlooked, trampled, like even kicked to the side, dumped. Nobody wants that. That's a horrible feeling. Feeling neglected and abandoned and even abused, right? Nobody wants to feel that. So let's talk about these three reasons why you may not have been chosen. Maybe. Number one, and I had to really like dig inside of my soul for this one. What I've learned over the years from being a professional, having a career for 20 years, raising 3 girls, right? Being a leader from birth as the oldest of 3, being a Black woman, right? I have learned that in order for me to be chosen, it's very important that I get out of my victim mentality. Because actually wanting to be chosen is actually the wrong focus. The focus should be, how can I choose myself and show up for myself and be fulfilled so that I don't have to be chosen, right? And so, number one, the first thing that I started doing to put myself in a better position was I started to form relationships with people who were in the arena where I wanted to be. So if you are an athlete and you want to be a part of a community, get with the people who are successful in your sport, right? So I have always had a mentor slash master teacher, because as a novice teacher, I started in 2003 and I didn't know anything about teaching. And so I had a master teacher assigned to me, and it was phenomenal. And then the next year, I assigned myself another master teacher. And every time I shifted in my career, moved to another school, taught at a different grade level, I assigned myself another master teacher, because I knew I knew this then and I know this now. You don't know what you don't know. And so anytime I would go into a new setting, deal with a new challenge, I would ask, hey, who's really good at this? Because I need to connect with them and I need to sit at their feet and I need to learn. And so I'm a wonderful teacher and a leader, but I'm an even better student because I study. I study a lot. And so the first thing that I had to learn how to do is to attach myself to the people who are winning, the people who are successful, the people who are getting the recognition, right? And so I had to take a look at my network and I had to say, who am I connected to right now? Who am I in close proximity to? Because they say the 5 closest people to you, those are the folks that have the most impact on your mindset. And they also have the most impact on your money. So take a look. The 5 people that you hang around the most, you're probably within the same income bracket. Take a look at that. You're probably at the same educational level. You're probably in the same kind of romantic relationships because you share that type of information sometimes. You're probably in the same kind of situation with how you handle your children. Your children probably go to the same school. So whatever's being taught there, those are your values. Those are your kids' values. And so association is very important. Environment is very important. Community is important. The climate, the atmosphere, where you are and who you're with is very important. So number 1, reason why you may not have gotten chosen when you wanted to be chosen is because you don't have the right associations. This is where you have to learn politics. This is where you have to learn to be diplomatic and to be friendly and to be open to all kinds of relationships with all kinds of people. And so that's number 1. You may not have been chosen because you didn't know the right people. And if you did, you didn't hang out with the right people. So that's 1. Number 2, and trust me, I'm talking to me. I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me because this is the work that I had to do to get myself in a position to where I could be chosen. And so for me, number 2 is important because I had to have my mentors and my coaches hold up a mirror. And that was hard. When someone holds up a mirror to you and they show you your gaps, it's like, whoa, ouch, right? This is why people don't like to invest in coaching. This is why people don't like to go to therapy. This is why people do not like to go to school. They don't like professors. They don't like teachers. They don't like mentors, because people who hold up a mirror in front of you, they expose you. And some of them are just downright mean, right? Some people tell you the brutal truth and they're brutally honest. I don't like that. I don't believe in that. But hey, it happens. And so it forces you to take a look at who you are and how you're showing up in the world. Because you might be a great person, you might be really smart, but maybe you're not showing up that way. Maybe you're not standing tall when you need to stand tall. Maybe you're not sitting up when you need to be sitting up. Maybe you're not talking loud like you need to be talking loud, right? But you also have to know the time and the place. There's a time and there's a place for everything. And this is why you have to have friends who can help you navigate society. Because there's a lot of different social things that you need to know, social norms that you need to be aware of, depending on what environment you're going into. And so, number 2 is your character. This is tough, right? People talk about you when you leave the room. They talk about you and they share what they see and what they don't see. They talk about your habits, what you do every day, what they see you do. They talk about the words that come out of your mouth. They talk about how you work, if your work ethic is good or if it's not good. This is where the overachieving comes in. Because if you're a people pleaser, like I used to be, then you're an overachiever and you want to make sure everything's perfect. So when you leave the room, people will say, oh, wow, amazing. But you don't know what they're saying. So you just have to have integrity and you just have to be the same person wherever you are, right? People talk about you based on, it's my air, no, that's my heater, not air conditioner. If you can hear that noise, that's what that is. But people talk about you. People talk about themselves. They talk about other people. They gossip. There's always conversations happening. So you have to just be the same. You have to have integrity. You have to make your word. Let your word be your word. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. And be confident and bold in what you're saying. And if you don't know, then you need to say, I don't know. You need to be very comfortable with saying that, because if you are one of those people that you don't know and you try to act like you do know, that doesn't look good on your character. So number 2 is make sure that your character is intact. Make sure that you have integrity, because people will notice if what you say and what you do don't match. People will notice and they'll talk about it. And when it comes time to choose a leader, they may not choose you because of whatever they see, however you're showing up. So that's number 2. Number 3, this one's actually really easy to fix, right? The first 2, like, you really kind of have to work on. You got to give some time to those. But number 3 is easy. Number 3 is communication. It's all about communication, and it's all about availability. So sometimes you're not chosen because when the call came through, you didn't answer. You didn't pick up. When the email came through, you didn't answer. You didn't respond in a timely manner. And so sometimes you self-sabotage because you know you're about to be chosen, but you screw it up yourself. How many times have you done it? I've done it multiple times where I'm like, I'm about to be chosen. And then I don't answer the email or I don't answer the phone. I've done that before, not now, but I used to do that all the time. I just hide from the phone and just be afraid to pick up. Why? Like, you have to ask yourself, why do I do that? What am I afraid of? Right? And so not only are you afraid to pick up the phone, but sometimes you're too busy and you're too distracted. So when the opportunity comes knocking, you don't even know that anybody's at the door because you're too busy doing other things, right? Also, communication comes in the form of speaking. And so when the time comes up and someone needs to be chosen, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? Sometimes you're not chosen because you're not speaking up for yourself. You're not being bold and confident and saying, hey, I'm qualified for that job. I can do it. Sometimes we work silently and we do a good job and we pray that someone notices and that they're going to choose us, but they don't. Because in the end, you really have to step up and say, hey, this is why you should choose me. I am qualified. I want this opportunity, and this is why. It's very difficult for many people to stand up and speak up and show up for themselves and get what they want. And so you may not have gotten chosen just because you didn't ask, right? You have not because you ask not. And so that last one is easy to fix. The communication, when the communication comes through, pick up the phone. When the opportunity comes knocking, open the door, right? And these days, when the opportunity comes into your inbox, answer the email, open the email, answer the email, ask a question. Even if you don't know what to say and you're flabbergasted, ask a question. Okay? So these are your 3 reasons why you may not be chosen. Number 1, it's all about your connections. You have to be connected with the right people at the right time for the right reason. And so if there is a need, if there's a void, if there's a vacancy, if there's a position that needs to be filled, and you know the person who is actually in charge of filling the position, you have an advantage over everyone else. Is it unfair? Yes, it is. It's unfair. But that's life. That's life. So you want to look for every opportunity to give yourself an unfair advantage. It's all about who you know, not what you know. Doesn't matter what your resume looks like. I've gotten multiple opportunities without even, I've always had my resume. I always had my portfolio. When I graduated teacher college, I had this huge portfolio with all this stuff. And I got my first job because I was a student teacher at the school where they hired me to teach. I was already there. So when it came time for me to do the interview, I was a substitute teacher. I served as a tutor, and I was a student teacher. So everyone already knew my face. They already knew my name. They knew my voice, and they knew I was qualified for the job. So it was just a formality to go in there and do the interview with the interview panel, right? And everybody on the panel already knew where I was going to be working. So it was just a formality, just fill out this application, and do this, and do that. But we already know where you're going to go, right? And so I was connected for that first teaching position. And it was awesome, right? Number 2, your character. Your character might be in question, especially if there's someone who doesn't like you. Sometimes people lie about you. Sometimes people make up stories about you. And this is why you have to be well connected and you have to communicate loudly. Because if you act like a church mouse, like sometimes I would act like a church mouse and just think miraculously someone was going to speak up on my behalf. This is a part of your character. You have to have integrity. You have to speak up for yourself. You have to have a great work ethic, and everyone needs to see it. You don't necessarily have to boast and brag, but everybody has to see what you are showing up like and what you're bringing to the table. So that's character. What are your habits? What do people see you doing every morning? What do they see you eating and drinking? What do they see you putting into your mind, right? All of that stuff pops out. You can tell which people go to the gym and work out by how they look. You can tell who takes care of themselves. You can tell who is emotionally stable. You can tell, right? You can tell the people who are organized. You can tell just by looking at how they walk into the room, how their hair is put together, their clothes are put together, their purse, their briefcase, the way that they show up. What does their car look like? You can tell when someone's organized, when they're disorganized. And that's all a part of your character. Who are you? Who are you showing up as when you leave the room? What are people saying? What do you think they're saying? Right? What do you want them to say? Because you actually control the narrative of what you want people to say. If you want people to say, "Ooh, she smells good," you spray on a little bit of perfume. If you want people to say, "Oh, he's smart," you need to read more books so that you can improve your vocabulary and you can use bigger words and you can comprehend more information. You can consume more information and you can talk better, right? It's a beauty of reading. And we all have access to reading. Okay? So that's connections, character, and then the last thing is communication. Speak up and speak well, right? The most successful people in the world are people who are very good at articulating their thoughts and communicating their messages to lots of people. And so the question becomes not why you're not being chosen, but why are you not choosing yourself? That's what I had to do. I had to say, you know what? Why am I focusing on anyone else choosing me? I choose me, right? And this has been a revelation the past 5 years, especially the past 2 years. Like I have decided to take myself out on dates. I take myself out for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whenever I want. I take myself out to get my hair done, get my nails done, get whatever I want for me, right? I don't wait for other people to take me out. I don't wait for that. I don't need that. I don't wait for people to tell me to go to the gym or tell me to eat right or tell me to drink water. I choose me. I look to see, what do I need? What do I want? What do I need to be doing today? Right? What do I need? What do I want? What do I need? I check in with myself every day, all day, multiple times a day. How am I feeling? Am I tired? Am I frustrated? Am I anxious? What am I? Am I happy? Right? That's our job. It's our duty and it's our responsibility to make sure that we choose ourselves. So we're going to flip this question around. We're going to turn it on its head and we're going to start saying, I choose me. And every day, at the end of the day, we're going to start saying, okay, did I choose me today? How many times did I choose me? And how do I know, right? How do I know that I chose me? And how did I feel? How good do I feel, right? And this is why when I teach people how to do a brain dump, a journaling, and a manifestation writing. So we write for many different reasons. We write to heal, okay, because writing is therapeutic. And so we can heal a lot of things through writing. Not everything, but a lot. We write to communicate. We write to connect with people. That's why we have love letters, text messages, right? We write to inform, and we write to sell things. We've got copy for those of us that are in business. There's a lot of writing going on. And so the more you're writing, the more you're participating in your growth. The less you're writing, the less you're participating in your growth. And you're waiting for someone else to provide something for you that you should be providing for yourself. So sit down with your pen and your paper and do some writing, right? This is what I do every day. It's my notes for my live talk for tonight. I do this every day. I write notes for my live talk. I write what I hope to manifest. I write what am I upset about? What am I worried about? What am I afraid of? I write all that stuff down. And then I organize it and I say, okay, these things are negative, and I put them in a dark journal. And I say, okay, these things are positive, and I put them in a bright colored, like a yellow journal. And then I have a whole separate journal for things that I want to manifest. And that one is green, because when I think of abundance, I think of money. So I have a blue or black journal for brain dumping, and I have a yellow journal for bright ideas, and then I have a green journal for money, abundance, right? And so that's a strategy that I came up with years ago, because I was like, I need to, there's so much in my head. I need a place for all these ideas to go. But I don't want to throw them away yet. But I want these ideas to go somewhere. So I came up with the different journal, the different notebooks, color-coded notebooks. And I use that to teach my clients. And I'm going to be sharing this strategy tomorrow night, because we are going to be doing a writing clinic. This is our second writing clinic, and it's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to start doing these every other Thursday. So this is going to be great. It's going to be amazing. A little sneak peek for you. So what we do is we come into a Zoom room, and everybody introduces themselves, says hello, where you from, and then we start writing. I have a timer. I set my timer for 5 minutes. We write for 5 minutes. I give a prompt, and you write everything that comes to your mind. I don't give you the prompt until you get to class, because I don't want you to prepare. I want whatever comes out of you, I want it to be spontaneous. And so you get the prompt, I set the timer, and you write. And then when the time is up, you stop, you drop your pen, and you stop writing. And then we share with each other, okay, what did you write? And you don't have to share if you don't want to, but the people who get the most bang out of this, Those are the people who actually share what they wrote. And this class is free 99. So you don't have to worry about paying anything. And if you don't want to share, you don't have to share anything. You just come in and you do the writing activities and you learn the writing strategies, and then you go home and you practice. I'm teaching brain dumping, journaling, and manifesting. And I'm going to break down the difference between those three things, because it is a lot. You have a lot going on up here. And so it's my expertise, and it's the love of my life to help you sort through all of the garbage that's up here. There's a lot of garbage. There's a lot of head trash. A lot. A lot. And you don't really know until you show up to my class and I pull it out of you. And then you're like, damn. By the end of the clinic, you're going to look through all these pages. You're going to be like, whoa, I wrote all of this. Yep. Because I pulled it out of you. Because I'm going to ask you some questions. And I'm not going to sit there and let you not write. You have to write. You don't have to share, but you have to write. And this goes all the way back to my 7th grade English teacher. She used to do this to me all the time. And I was like, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. But she trained me on, okay, if you don't know what to write, this is how you snap yourself back into the creative mode. And yeah, this is how you get yourself back on track. Let's go. So I'm going to teach you those strategies that my 7th grade English teacher taught me, which paid off well, very well for my whole life. So if you're not registered for the writing clinic, raise your hand. I will send you the link to get registered for the writing clinic, because it's tomorrow night and it's going to be freaking phenomenal. We've got 2 hours this time, because last time we did 1 hour was not enough. Nowhere near enough, right? Bring a friend, bring a coworker. We've got some mother-daughter combos in the house. That's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. What else? Join my community on Facebook, Your First Book Club. If you are thinking about writing a book, but you kind of just like want to know how and where to get started and all that good stuff. So, yep. I'll see you in the Facebook community. I'll see you in the writing clinic tomorrow night. And that's all I have to share with you. If there are any questions, then go ahead and put questions in the comments and I will answer them. If not, then I will allow you to have the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's a beautiful evening. And I'll see you in the next live talk.